Yeah, that's what's about to happen. Get ready, guys. So hey guys, my daughter's going to be in and out of this one. She's going to be my little shop assistant. She's actually putting on clothes to get ready to go do her jump rope, and then she and I are going to spend the day together because unfortunately, if you watched my video last night, I'm unable to do any work on knives. No sharpening, no knife making, because I'm a dummy. So what we're going to talk about is I had the opportunity given to me by a gentleman that reached out to me on Instagram about a knife that he wanted sharpened. And we spoke about it, and he brought the knife by and decided he's going to get a new blade put on it. It's a Benchmade 940. He's going to get a new blade put on it, and then when it comes back, I'm going to sharpen it then. He had someone else sharpen it, was not happy with the sharpening that occurred, that was done on it for him, and so we decided that when it comes back, it's going to get sharpened. He also had a Ferrum Forge. He had a Ferrum Forge scepter that when I talked to him on the phone, he said, no, it's fine. And then that day he dinked the tip on the concrete. So Elliot is going to fix the tip on the grinder, and then it's going to come to me to sharpen, but they're also going to put some jimping on a flipper tab and stuff like that. But what I have, what he offered me the chance, is his and his cousin's Rocksteads. So I have a Higo and a Heisen. So we're going to take a quick look at those. So if you've never had a Rockstead knife, and this is the first I've had a chance, these things are insane. I've never had a chance to bring it on my channel. They come in this cardboard box, and then they have the, let's see which one is this. Then they have their balsa wood box that they come in, and I believe that this one is the Heisen, which is the smaller of two. So we're going to pull them out, we're going to look at them, and I'm going to show you why I said that I can't sharpen a lot of types of knife. These things are amazing. There's 0 grain. I got fingerprints on it. I only have one hand right at the moment, and it's kind of hard to wipe off. Let's see. These are some amazing knives. The mirror polish, this double angle 0 grind. I mean, it is mirror polished. This one is really sharp. Now, the Higo has a different blade configuration. Let's get that one out of the box and look at it. So Rockstead knives get their knives, they run them at an insanely hard Rockwell. And they do it in a fashion, I don't know how they prevent the chipping. Some of it might do with blade profile and things like that. But if you look, this one is a complete convex. This has a black DLC on it. This is the Higo, and this is the Heisen. So, I mean, they are just like this one shrunk down. They are the same blade profile. This one does have a different edge profile than the Higo. The Higo does not have that secondary thing. Now, this one, I don't know what this guy did. It is not sharp at all. I can run my thumb. Rocksteads, you wouldn't even want to really touch that edge. If you've ever watched anything that Jim Skelton did about his, so I don't know what the owner cut with it, but I mean, it is a flat, dead edge. It is not sharp at all. Any point of this, like the entire knife is dull all the way down. It's not sharp at all. Could I resharpen this? Possibly, but the fact is, with this having this DLC coating, this black DLC coating, diamond-like coating, if I was to scratch it and ruin it, I mean, you can see it. It is just a flat edge. It almost looks like it never got ground. So I don't know what the owner did to this, or if this was intentional because they just wanted a showpiece but not sharp. Not sure. But it's pretty dull everywhere. It does not have a sharp place on this blade. But at any rate, these things are gorgeous. And they are expensive. So you won't see me pocketing or carrying either one of these knives. They are duraluminum, which is aluminum with copper for the handles. And it makes the copper a little bit harder, last a little bit longer, but it is basically an aluminum scale, and it's light, nice and light. The action on them is really smooth. I would say as smooth as a Sebenza. I'm gonna go that far. It's as smooth as a Sebenza for the Higo. The Heisen, and I don't know if it's just because it's not as broke in. It's a little stiff there at the detent, but it's still really smooth. So these things are ZDP steel. ZDP. We'll pull out. Let's look at the. They come with these spec sheets that you have to keep. It tells you specifically point to note, and so limited lifetime warranty. This knife is warranted to the original purchaser. Any repair return for warranty consideration must include 3,000 yen, Japanese yen, for return shipping from Japan. Rockstead warranties that all of our products are free from defects. Rockstead warranties the sharpness of the blade. If you feel is not sharp, if you feel are not sharp of your knife, please send it to our company. Rockstead warranty doesn't cause damage covered by abuse, misuse, loss of proper handling, alteration. So basically, it tells you the original purchaser gets to warranty it, and then it has a spec for each individual knife because each one is unique and tested. So this is for the Heisen, or this small little boy here. Let's look at the specs on this. So this is FHZN 241. Model is the Heisen J, number 241. Blade material is ZDP 189. Rockwell hardness. Ready for this? I'm not making this up. 66.6 on the Rockwell. Now my 20CV knives that I make come out at 64, which is insane, and will cut you and go right into the bone and not leave a mark on a blade. I checked. It's got a hard anodized black coating, and it does not. This is obviously they for the handle. I'm sorry, that's the handle. No embellishments, and then it has a signature. So this was August 6, 2015, and it was checked by Mr. Ishida. And they are made in Osaka, Japan. It's Sakai City, Osaka, Japan. Sakai City. Yeah, and then it comes with a bunch of information. It's got a picture of the knife, and so each one of them comes with its own registration card. Talks about the materials the blade was made out of and all that stuff. Comes with a little tool in the box so you can take it apart and adjust it. These are amazing knives. Now, this knife is owned by an individual that is more of a collector than me. So when I said, you know, I could try to sharpen, he goes, nope, I don't want to ruin the aesthetics of it. It's just going to stay the way it is. I could probably try to strop it, but I don't want to do anything because that's against the owner's wishes. Now let's look at the Higo paperwork. Let's see what it came out Rockwell hardness. Hard to do this one-handed. So this is not ZDP 189. This is YXR steel, and it is only at 64.5 Rockwell. Still insane. Hard anodized, black HV 400 on the blade. No embellishments. It's a clip. The clip is at 50 Rockwell, just so you know. 1 millimeter thickness. Leaf spring is duraluminum. This one was March of 2015. But yep, comes with the same service form and everything. So these knives are a really specialty item. I would love to have one. I'd love to have one for, let me see if I can show. Yeah, can you see that, just that shiny all the way down the blade? It's not sharp at all. So my daughter was supposed to come out here for this, so that you guys, she's wanting to be on my channel a little bit. And we are going to spend the day together because I can't do anything and she's not skating. So yeah, this is, I'm really surprised. I don't know what would have happened to this or how this would have happened. I know it's really hard to get one of these dull. I've seen the test videos that people do with them. I like this one. I really like this little Heisen. So these things are just about perfect EDC size. This would be something that is right around the size of my Npac. That is, it hurts. It's something that you could use, and I imagine if you weren't a collector, you could really hard use one of these. I've seen some cutting videos, and the coatings on these are really, really good. From what I understand, these are they have a titanium coating on them, on the blade itself. These, I was looking down in it, it's got the bolster, it's got bushings in it, just like a Sebenza. It has a lot of feel like a Sebenza. Yeah, just amazing. And then, so when you look at it, pocket clip is really, really well done. It's comfortable, doesn't have any hot spots, but it's this. They're gorgeous. With this wave pattern on both sides of the scales, the lock bar cutouts on the inside, like I don't so much like the lock bar cutout on the outside. You've heard me say it. It has a tendency to catch on your pockets. I usually don't like to have any embellishments on the lock side, but these are so smooth and round that it doesn't catch in your pocket. But those are the two things that sometimes, like sharp by design. I love that mini Typhoon that I sharpened for Nico, but it had chevrons cut in on the back side, and when you would pull out of your pocket, it would catch, just tear your pocket up. So yeah, no. So the first time I've gotten to really handle a Rockstead knife, I'm impressed. They are nice, but let's go back to that. For what you're paying for it, I don't see it being any better than some of the other knives that are out there. You know, some of your Microtechs that are done well. If you can get your hands on a really, really good high-end ZT, you're not looking at anything better, but you're looking at a lot less cost. Let's put it this way, my Npac, which is the knife that I would compare it to for the type of use that I would put a knife like this size through, these are really expensive. My Npac is a $500 knife. That's pretty expensive, but not near on the, you know, my Archbishop's a $700 knife. These are right in the same price point. These, now the Shin that I want, that's a $1,200 knife. I wouldn't want a Higo, or I might want one of those little Heisens, but the one that I want is the one that Jim Skelton had. It's the Shin with the, it's got the, oh, the ray skin and a starburst pattern, and it's a gorgeous knife, and it's done like this one. I can't afford one. So now we'll talk about something else real quick. There's some people that have really started to realize that the Npac is an amazing knife, and they're looking for them. I have one guy that is looking for an Npac, and he asked me this morning, he's like, I talked to a guy, he said he's got one, he'll trade it to me for, I forget which knife that he had, which is about a $150 knife plus $350 in cash. And he asked me, is it worth it? And I was like, well, if you ask me, it's worth it. You know, it just depends on you. You know, I would hate to tell the guy to jump on it and then him be disappointed, but the fact is, I think it's worth it. The fact is, there's only 200 of them out there, with a couple one-offs, you know, in addition to, like, Pip Corona. Jesse's got the one that's in SM100 that I sharpened for him, and there's a couple that were done as specialties, but really, on the market, there's none out there. There were 200 made, and that's pretty much it. I actually have 2 of them. One was my father's that just passed away. It's being shipped back to me. I bought it for my father for a retirement gift when he left the sheriff's department. And so, yeah, and there is no way I would sell either one of them. People are like, oh, you got 2. Well, one of them's now my daughter's. The one that was my father's is going to be my daughter's. So, yeah, there's some knives. There's some of the knives that Fair and Forge made that got dismissed, and people are like, oh, and this and that, and now they're coming back around, and people that got them are really reluctant to give them up. So, and I'm gonna do another video here probably tomorrow. I'm gonna talk about YouTube reviewers in the knife community that that poo-poo on stuff because they just don't understand it, and it's outside of what they're used to. I've had conversations with Elliot, and I talked with Eric Kramer. He makes some badass fixed blade knives. And I've talked to these guys, and I talked to, you know, Robert Bodiger Custom Knives, and we talk about the fact that there's people out there reviewing knives, and they're so stuck in what they're used to that they can't acknowledge that there's been changes and that there are things that work that are amazing, and they just shit all over anybody's stuff that might be a little bit different. So I'm going to do a video about that. We're going to talk about some of the things that Nick Shabazz in particular has said about Ferrum Forge knives and some of the other knives that are out there that I really like, and there's no basis in fact. They're basis on his opinion. So a lot of the stuff I say is based on opinion, but it's because I also will go back and look at the fact. Like, I don't have it with me, but Elliot's 1/8 inch pivot that he uses. A lot of people, oh, it's so small, this and that. Well, here's the thing. The pivot also then goes through all that metal. And so there's a lot of metal. There's a lot of titanium on the outside, a lot of titanium on the blade, or steel on the blade, and then another whole piece where it's going through. And the pivot is just basically there to hold that position. And out of all the knives that have ever come back to Elliot's shop, he'll tell you thousands of knives that they've made, over 4,000 knives, not a single pivot has come back broken. Not one. Lock scales have come back broken. Blades have come back broken. Everything else you can think of on that knife has come back broken, except the pivot. So we'll talk about that in my next video. All right, guys, I've got to take my vehicle in to get an inspection done, and I'm going to spend the day with my daughter. So you guys take it easy, and I will see you next time.